DN Gaming here, presenting to you from the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. And who do we have here?
Hi, my name is Zachary Finn.
And what did you do this past weekend at the first Kissimmee Regional in real life?
So I got first place in the tournament. I went 8-0-1, and I played TENYI Brave with the Red Rose Dragons.
All right, so let's see what you played.
All right, so we played 3 Ashina, 3 Vishuda, 2 Adhera for your TENYIs. This ratio is really good. Adhera kind of does the least for the deck. It's a tuner, which is good to get you in your Hulk plays. You really want to see one of the level 7s with the Red Rose. Ashina Red Rose is the best combo in your entire deck, in my opinion. So you really want to maximize on these, and you can kind of skip on this one. Like I said, I thought these ratios are really good. I didn't miss the other Adhera. Then we played the Rose Dragon package. So 3 Red Rose, 1 Rocks Rose. This card is insane. It does so much. It's a tuner, which is always going to be good. It gets you into Baron, gets you to Baron into a Hulk play from the Baron, which is absolutely insane. So like I said, this card plus Ashina gets you everything you want to do. This card plus Right does other really good stuff. This is really the best card to draw in your deck, in my opinion. So then we have our 1-ofs, 1-0-0-1 for the Aurodon combos. Pretty self-explanatory. Snow. Card was okay. It's definitely, after the event, one of the cards I'm considering cutting. It's good to send off Shooting Riser. It's good to send off a Foolish. Has some really cool applications with Chaining. But overall, I thought the card was merely okay. It gets sided out a lot. Actually gets sided out always going second. So it definitely is something, you can consider anything else in the slot. 2 Sword Souls, 1 Moye, 1 Taie. You need them to summon off of Yazi. They're both good in different situations, and like Taie can turn into a Moya through Boxia in some lines. Just kind of part of the deck, get you into Shisha, nothing too crazy. I tried Long Yang when we were testing. It was okay. It doesn't really do anything great. Like, it doesn't get you into your Hulk plays. Like, it doesn't help you get into your Hulk plays. It's 2 cards to make a Baron. When, like, you usually want to be doing Ash and Red Rose with those same 2-card combos, and it's just better every time. Definitely would not consider playing more than 1 of each. They interfere with Right. So, definitely fine at 1-1. Then we got our hand traps. So we played 1 DD Crow. Card's just overall pretty good in the meta. It also gives the deck some cool bridges with Small World. It gives you Vishuda a way to get to Red Rose. There was also a game against Drytron in the tournament where we were in like a grind, and he kind of had to banish everything in his graveyard to put a Snow, and then it forced the DP pop. So he was just like on DP plus like no Celestial or Dasher in the graveyard. I made my play. The last thing I did was Small World to search Crow the DP, and the game was basically over after that. So 1 Crow, 2 Veilers, 2 Ogres, 2 Bells, 2 Ashes. I decided to play 2 of each on all these guys just because I wanted to play more variety of hand traps. You never really want to draw 2 of the same one, so I figured having more names would give me more combinations of different ones. For the most part, they're all tuners. Most of them are level 3 tuners, because in Simplified Game State, a hand trap plus Ashina or a hand trap plus Vishuda or Griffin Rider even gets you into a Baron, which can be really powerful in in somewhat of a grind game. Was really happy with this choice. Bell is really good against DP. Ashen Ogre good against Fateful. Veiler is good against Hulk. Like, they all came up in different scenarios, and I was pretty satisfied with this assortment. And then we played 3 Nibiru. There's not a lot to say about this card. It's just crazy. You do need to draw it a lot of times in combination with another card, which is fine. That's why you play so many other hand traps. I played 12 in total. This card just you need to play it. It keeps things in check. It makes it so you don't get blown out by side decks all the time. Just overall a good card. Then we had our adventure package. So pretty standard: 3 Enchantress, 1 Griffin Rider, 3 Right, 1 Fateful, 1 Draco back. Frankly, if you're not playing adventurer cards in your deck, I think you're just kind of behind the curve. They do so much. Right is like a +3 by itself. They do so much. They extend your plays. They provide negates to protect your plays. Draco back grind's really good. It gets you out of floodgates. It makes Mystic Mine an irrelevant card. Like this 9-card package really just does so much that you're really at a disadvantage if you're not playing it. Then we have Small World, which I think was the MVP of the deck over the weekend. It just makes every hand playable. I initially didn't like the card all that much because it is in theory a -1. But like I said earlier, Ashina Red Rose is the best combo in your deck. So being able to like consistently turn one card into that card, or, you know, the one that you're missing is really good. Like every card in your deck is searchable with Small World. You can find a bridge for just about anything. You can see whatever piece you need. You can get to Enchantress. You can get to TENYI sometimes. You can get hand traps when you need them for extra backup. I mean, the card is just really crazy. One Bowser Rose as part of the combo with Rocks Rose, you have to play it. One Call By, one Foolish as my one-ofs. They're both just really strong spells. Helps you play around hand traps, out to DP, Scythe. Foolish is another way to Enchantress. It's a way to send Ashina sometimes when you don't have Ashina as part of your combo. It can send Fairy Tale, Snow. It just does a lot for your deck. And then one Blackout to search off a Seashell. Card's just really good. It's insane against Prank Kids. It's insane against Brave Packages. I mean, this card is just really good. Then we got an extra deck. So we'll start with our Synchros. We played Formula. Exclusively is in there to summon off of Needle Fiber. You don't ever really hard make it, but there's times where like you end with Needle Fiber plus Seashell. You can tag out to Formula, get a draw, then you know or synchro into Baron or Chaining or the other level 10. I mean, it's just overall pretty solid. Herald of the Arclight, card's crazy, plays around droplets. It makes your end boards feel so much safer. It's one of the reasons that the Ashina Red Rose line is so much better than most other lines of your deck, because it gets you like the double Omnigate almost always. Card's really good. Yazi, incredible card. Part of your combo, you summon it off of your, off your Rurodon play, gets you into Taie. It helps break boards, just really powerful card. Shooting Riser, most of the time you're going to be bringing it out off of Needle Fiber. It's going to send Temple a lot of times. It's going to send Snow a lot of the times. Sometimes you can send like an Ad Hera to keep it as a level 6 and or synchro for a level 10 on your opponent's turn. Card just has some really cool applications in the deck. Boxia, crazy. It breaks boards. It helps you push for damage. Really good card. Draco Berserker. This card didn't come up a whole lot. I just find myself wanting a third level 8 some of the time. So like if you don't have it, it feels kind of bad, but it's one of the cards that I think you can consider cutting. Didn't come up a ton. Seashell, part of your standard combo. The card's pretty solid. Adding Blackout's really good. For our 10s, you got Chenying. Really solid card. Protects itself from destruction by card effects. Banishes a card from the field and graveyard. It's a good card to come off. All the level 10s are kind of good to summon off of like a Formula or a Shooting Riser. They both have different applications for different situations. I think this card is absolutely insane. It didn't come up a whole lot in the regional, but I definitely want to try to put more of an emphasis in summoning this card. It outs Faithful really nicely. It helps simplify like the Prank Kids. I think this card's crazy against Prank Kids. It's pretty solid against Elblick. Overall, just a really good card. It has some applications, and I look forward to kind of using it some more. Baron, card's ridiculous. It makes so much possible in the format. You have to play it. So that's it for our synchros. We played 5 links. One Monk of the TENYI. A lot of deck builds are playing 2. In the last couple of days, I've kind of been going back and forth on whether I want to play 2 or not. Like, 1 felt fine for the tournament. There was maybe a couple of times where I wondered if having a second one would be beneficial, but I thought it was just okay. Needle Fiber, one of the best cards in the format. Deck definitely needs to play 2 for a lot of reasons. You give yourself another way to kind of play if your first Hulk gets stopped. You have multiple different Hulk plays you can make. Like, a lot of decks are kind of put it like the pure Sorcerer deck is narrowed in on one Hulk play. Like, you play Despot, that's the card you're going to summon every time. Sometimes in this deck, you're going to summon a Red Rose to kind of make your synchro plays off of Needle Fiber, and you're going to save the Despot in your deck so the turn after you have another follow-up play. So you definitely need to play 2. Mecha Phantom Beast or Rurodon, the card's really good. Summoning 3 tokens, getting into Yazi, things like that. The pop effect is also really good. Non-targeting pop, it's really good. It helps force DP in like a simplified game state, and it helps make your second or third turn pushes a lot easier. Also, it made it like it ends up on your board a lot, so I think it was reasonable to play access code with it, just because this gave you a really consistent game push. 53 coming off on turn 2, you really only need a right combo to kind of push for damage or lethal after that. So it came up a couple times. It definitely has a few more applications, and I think scenarios where it's going to be good that I think will continue to come up. This was kind of a last second add to my deck. We put it in the night before the regional. Definitely don't regret it. The card's good. Then we have our side deck. Side deck's pretty generic. We played Gamma Package. Card's insane. Good against almost everything in the format. You almost always want this card in your deck going second. I don't want to play it going first because I don't want to draw a driver going first. I like this deck compared to some of the other decks in the format because I think it plays the least number of bad cards in the deck or bricks. So I always want to kind of when I'm going first, I want to be minimizing on those. So the Gamma Package, 2 Token Collector, 2 Mourners. Token Collector just good against almost everything and all the Brave cards in the format. Mourner's good against Needle Fiber decks. It's also kind of good against some Scythe decks. It gives you another way to kind of play against Scythe. It's also a level 3 tuner, which it comes up. Definitely open to considering other cards in this slot, but I think it was just fine for the event. We sided 3 Twin Twisters. For the Eldic matchups, the random trap matchups, it's good against Prank Kids. It's just overall a good card. Played 3 talents for when we go first. The format's dominated by hand traps, so that kind of gives you a way. This deck can a lot of time play through 1. You kind of get your back broken on the second one, so if you can draw Ashen or Red Rose plus Tactics, you're kind of set to win that game almost every time. You can negate the first one, and then you can activate this. Oh no, you gotta negate the activation, but it lets you kind of play through the first hand trap and make your board a lot better. And then Red Reboot, just another card against the trap matchups. Didn't really come up throughout the tournament, but you never know when you're going to come up against that matchup, and it'll be helpful, so it's fine in the side deck.
All right, so any shout outs?
Yeah, so big shout outs to DN Gaming. That's the boy. Look forward to what this guy has in store for everybody. Want to shout out all the boys. Y'all know who you guys are. Ruben, Matt, Gio, y'all rode up with me. We talked a lot of theory leading up to the event. Shaheen for always having the Hyperbolic Time Chamber open for us to come and test. Everybody in the group chat, Andres, Andy, Eric, Sam, all the boys, y'all know who y'all are. You guys made this a lot more possible, and it's a cool stuff for having the most competitive locals in South Florida. We appreciate you guys, and that's it.
All right, so I hope to see you doing well at the next YCS Charlotte.
Oh, you know it.